Have you ever noticed how relationship problems rarely feel new? You have the same disagreement with the exact same reactions, leading to the identical frustration. It's like walking in circles, and it is exhausting. When this happens, it rarely means you don't care about each other. It means you are stuck. You've fallen into a rigid behavioral loop where neither of you knows how to change the script. Relationship friction usually pushes us down three paths. You get caught in repetitive arguments, hit a wall of emotional disconnect, or experience dating burnout. But regardless of the path, they all lead to the exact same bottleneck, the pattern. Knowing you're in a pattern doesn't break it. Without an active intervention to change how you communicate, the pattern eventually becomes the entire relationship. That is where a relationship coach enters the picture. To be clear, a coach operates differently than a clinical therapist. They aren't trauma specialists. A coach acts as an objective strategist who gives you practical tools and accountability to modify how you behave right now. You might already know you need this outside perspective, but actually finding a vetted professional who truly gets your specific dynamic, that process usually feels incredibly overwhelming. We call this practitioner paralysis. The friction of choosing from thousands of options online prevents people from getting the help they actively want. Because an intervention only works if you match the coach's specific methodology to the exact stage and state of your relationship. Let's evaluate what coaching requires based on where you are, starting with couples who are deeply committed but highly emotionally fatigued. This matrix breaks down the required inputs. If you are a stuck couple, you have to bring active vulnerability. You have to suppress your ego, and you have to completely abandon the desire to win a disagreement. The International Coaching Federation tracks the outcomes for this effort, reporting a 72% improvement in communication skills and productive conflict resolution. There is a heavy trade-off, though. It will feel highly uncomfortable at first, primarily because you can no longer exclusively blame your partner when things go wrong. On the other side of that discomfort, you get to end the repetitive fight cycle, you finally feel heard without constantly defending yourself, and you can rebuild the connection that the conflict severed. For a stuck couple, bruising your ego is the necessary price you pay to break the loop. If you are single and exhausted from choosing the wrong partners over and over, the math looks a little different. Your required input is a deep, uncomfortable audit of your past relationships. You have to identify exactly where things failed and establish incredibly strict personal boundaries. The outcome is dating with absolute clarity and intention, stopping the habit of committing to people who don't fit your needs. The trade-off here means delaying immediate gratification. You have to pause the dates to confront your own role in attracting bad matches. Dating stops being a game of random chance and becomes a deliberate exercise in personal accountability. Then there are stable couples looking to proactively build healthy habits before things break. The input here requires committing real financial resources and time in your schedule to analyze a relationship that isn't actually failing. The outcome is a set of robust relational habits that act as a buffer, preventing degradation when future crises eventually hit. The primary trade-off is the risk of overanalyzing minor quirks. Plus, it requires a partner who is equally willing to put in the effort to optimize. Optimizing a good relationship is an upfront investment in prevention rather than paying for an expensive cure down the line. No matter which category you fall into, you still face the logistical hurdle of actually hiring someone from a global network of over 34,000 professional coaches. This animated funnel shows how Noomii's SmartMatch process solves that problem. It eliminates search fatigue by filtering those 34,000 options through your specific personality, goals, and budget. The required input from you is absolute honesty on their initial assessment quiz. You have to clearly state your relationship goals and your financial parameters. In return, you completely bypass the generic search results. You get up to 5 highly specialized coach recommendations tailored to your situation, and it costs you nothing to get matched. The trade-off is that while Noomii handles the heavy sorting for free, you still have to take responsibility for vetting the personal chemistry during those introductory calls. A recommendation engine removes the friction of the search. You still have to execute the final decision. 99% of coaching clients report satisfaction with their experience. This effectiveness remains high only as long as you are willing to do the emotional labor required. If your primary goal is to hire someone to simply validate your complaints about your partner, coaching is going to be a total waste of your money. This scorecard outlines who actually succeeds here. If you are tired of those repetitive loops and you are ready for active behavioral change, you are the ideal candidate for a match. While the Noomii quiz identifies the right coach for your personality, that information only gains value when you act on the recommendation. Better relationships do not happen by accident. They are engineered by directly altering the way you interact with each other. If your relationships matter enough that you don't want to leave them to chance, taking the Noomii quiz is the required first step. It shifts you out of passive frustration and directly into active intervention.